A refrigerant recovery, you can pay someone under $100 to do it, or you can pay several $100s to get the equipment for it. It's up to you.
Hey Bear! Hey Bear! Let's get to work. Oh man.
What's up, people? It's Bear. I'm in my 1999 second gen Dodge Ram 1500 two-door club cab. Been doing a lot of interior work. New headliner. Pulled out the headliner, reupholstered it, used some fabric off Amazon. It's $50. Took 2 cans of 3M headliner adhesive. Those were close to $40 for both cans. Wound up using a can and a half, so for a club cab, one can's not going to do it. If you got a standard cab, you can get by with 1 can. Under $100 for the headliner. I got some leftover material to reupholster these visors. These are, I believe these are the plastic clamshell type, so they'll split open right over here. And with the leftover fabric, I got enough material to reupholster both of those. This started off as an interior project. I started with basically, I removed everything out of this truck except for the dash. I removed the front seats, I removed the center console, I removed the back seat, I removed the back quarter trim panel, and I removed the front door cards. I actually bought some materials to do the interior about 3 or 4 years ago. I just never got around to doing it, and just kind of put it up in a spare room, and sort of discovered it, this spring. Started off, pulled the door cards, put the sound deadening on this inner skin, and also put sound deadening on the outer door skin. Listen to this. You don't hear that metal sound, it's just solid sounding, like a luxury truck. Like a luxury truck. A couple other things I did while I had the front door cards off. I went ahead and I removed the door glass. Also bought tint a long time ago, never used it. It was pre-cut tint off Amazon. I took the door glass off so I could take it inside. I wouldn't have rain, wind bothering me. When I tint from now on, I'll pull those windows if I can. Sound deadening I bought 3 or 4 years ago. I did the doors. I also bought speakers back when I was planning this project 3 or 4 years ago. Oh, I bought 4 speakers. I decided to do 6.5 inch round for the front doors instead of the 6x9, because while the 6x9 has got more bass to it, the 6.5s, just because they're round, they've got a little bit more clarity, and I'm not that much of a bass freak anymore. The back, I believe, were 5.25 inch, and they're the same budget Infinity speakers. Thought I was ready to get this truck back together, but I wasn't. I put the floor mats back in. I just put the seats in, and it was real hot, so I was like, I'm gonna crank this up and just run me some AC for a little while. Cranked up the old Dodge, turned on the AC. I could hear the compressor turn on, and then I was feeling at the vents, and it was just hot air. It was maybe a couple of degrees colder than it was inside the truck, which is like 100 degrees at the time. Popped the hood, and I felt the suction line, and this suction line was really cold. Clutch was cycling on and off pretty fast. It was short cycling. Short cycling compressor, the way I think ABC's, airflow before charge, first thing I think is that my evap is clogged up. And it's a really good guess to think the evap is clogged up, because unlike my 99 Sierra over here, which has a cabin air filter, these second gen Dodges do not have a cabin air filter. To get access to be able to inspect the evaporator, pulled the blower motor and stuck my camera phone up through there so I could take a look at the evap, and let's look at what I found. And fit you up in there. So we're looking up through the blower hole. We're looking up through the blower motor hole at the evap. And you can see we're pretty cruddy in there. As I was just running the AC, when I felt up there, it was wet, it was grimy. I felt like coarse grains of sand in there, dust, and even when I pulled the blower out, some leaves fell out. I thought I was gonna get this done today, but then I'm not gonna have any AC. I could do the AC later and just get this everything put back together, but I'm also thinking I might try to cut a hole in this HVAC box so I don't have to remove the dash and don't have to remove the air box to get to the evaporator to clean it. Maybe I want to drill some permanent holes. I looked at a lot of pictures of this 99 air box. I found two places where you can possibly cut to make an access port. This thin ridge right here is a safe place where you can drill through, but immediately right here, this whole thickness here, this whole thickness is your evaporator, and you can't hit that when you're cutting through here. But this doesn't give you much wiggle room to kind of, work a nozzle around and, spray the evaporator, try to back flush all that dirt out. And the only other spot I found, this is a little angled ramp that lets the water drain to this channel here and out that drain port in the firewall. This right here can be drilled, and you can probably cut you a big enough hole where you can actually get your water hose and spray in there. But I think you're going to need some kind of 90-degree angle, something like that, or something real flexible, or a really small nozzle. You don't have a lot of room here for a full-size garden hose sprayer. Outside of some weird tricks to backflush the evaporator, the only other method is to remove the dashboard and remove the air box. Now, unlike a lot of trucks and cars, pulling dash on a Ram, you can probably do that in 1 hour. On some dashes on cars and trucks, the book time can be like 14 hours. And actual time might even take longer than that, depending on the tech's done the job before. Another issue with pulling dash, pulling the air box, is that if you've got refrigerant in the system, you've got to evacuate. It's not legal if you hook up your gauges, connect to the high and low side, and then just open your center manifold and let the refrigerant gas out to the atmosphere. You got two options if you need to get refrigerant out legally. The problem when you don't have a leak is you got refrigerant in your system. And legally, you got a couple options to get that refrigerant out. I'd say for most people who don't have a lot of HVAC gear, best thing to do is go to Walmart, Firestone Auto Tire Center, see if they've got a good, what they call AC recharge special. Basically, they vacuum out all your refrigerant and then they fill it up with the exact weight for your vehicle. If you don't have the equipment, I would definitely recommend that. I checked prices and it's about 70 bucks. It's actually pretty cheap. But if you're going to be tearing your AC system apart, you don't want them to refill it. Just tell them, remove the refrigerant, don't put any new one in there, pay it. I don't know, maybe they give you a rain check where they'll fill it up later. No guarantees on that. But for me, I've got HVAC equipment. I've got an empty recovery tank, recovery pump, gauges, vacuum pump, micron gauge. I got pretty much everything you need for refrigerant for residential homes and vehicles. I would say if you're working with refrigerant big time, aside from the cans of automotive refrigerant, if you're in the US, you should get a 609 MVAC EPA cert, and if you're working on HVC around the home, if you're working on refrigerant, get the 608. You don't even have to be a service tech to take the test. Now, if you find yourself a refrigerant in your AC and you got to take it apart, you can either pay $70 to have Walmart or Firestone, some other shop, recover your refrigerant, or you can get some equipment, which I don't recommend unless you actually want to do this work a lot. You can get a 30-pound recovery tank here. Amazon, I believe you can get this for about maybe $90, $100. I've got a 2-stage vacuum. This thing's pretty old. It's from Harbor Freight. It's going to run you 100, maybe a little bit more, 100. Got a Robinair refrigerant recovery machine. It's a few $100s. Maybe it was $400, $600, something like that. This is the RG3. Not the best one in the world, but it'll do the work. This is my Harbor Freight gauge set here. I just have it sitting in here because got the hose still connected. This is some old trashy one I had from a really long time ago. I decided to replace it with this set when I did my AC on my Sierra. This Harbor Freight set's got these thumb wheels, which is just wonderful to use. Got a Testo 550 here. This is more for residential, but it's got all the settings for r134a. I'm not sure if it's got r134yf on there or not. So refrigerant recovery, you can pay someone under $100 to do it, or you can pay several $100s to get the equipment for it. It's up to you. First thing I want to do is make sure I still got a vacuum on here, because you don't want air in here if you're going to recover refrigerant, because you want to keep refrigerant as pure as you can. I'm going to hook the vacuum pump up here. I'm going to hook the micron gauge up here. I'm going to keep it closed until it's ready to check. Pulling a vacuum on my recovery tank. Weighing empty recovery tank. Got my recovery set up. Got my high side here. I'm using the Harbor Freight r134a thumb wheel valves here. Got it going to my Testo 550 manifold. Got the 550 manifold going to my Robinair RG3 recovery pump. It's going up to a filter. And got the output of the recovery machine going to the high side of my recovery tank. This was initially under about a 700 mic vacuum. That's why I was starting off slow. Now I'm going to go ahead and open it all the way up. And my pressures are down to 50 psi. Let's shut this valve off for a second and see if we're below saturation pressure. Yeah. If we were above like 80 psi right now, that'd still be liquid in the system, but we've got all the liquid out of here. So I can go ahead and run my recovery. I'll just keep it on vapor. When you recover refrigerant, you don't have to bring it to a deep vacuum. You can just bring it just below atmospheric, so like minus 0.5 psi. What happens when I open this up is I want to try to cap off all the lines as soon as possible. see where we at. Still got a little bit PSI left. Close this valve, let the recovery machine suck the gas out of all these hoses in my manifold. Once it gets down pretty deep, I'll shut it off here. Close this up. And we got no more refrigerant in here. I'm gonna go in and weigh it, see how much refrigerant was in there. It holds 2 pounds, 32 ounces. Evacuated pretty quick. I don't think it had that much in there. Just used my vacuum pump to pull a vacuum on the system. Still waiting for it to kind of balance out. There's still some gas flow in between the orifice until those balance out equal. Well, let's I want to close off the high side. So we're just going to look at the low side reading now, see what it's going to stay at. It's a lot better than when I did my Sierra. My Sierra was like going straight on up. It was looking like a mother. Had this Ram 19 years so far. AC never leaked, never had to put any refrigerant in it, nothing. I mean, this isn't nowhere near a real leak down test, you know, 15 minutes or anything, but it's not really moving, so I gotta take this thing apart off, so I'm gonna be vacuum checking it again, pressure testing it too. So let's move on. So we have 1.2 pounds in there we recovered, so looks like we're about halfway charged.